You don't need a degree, my ass. Y'all better stop letting these motherfucking course selling TikTok gurus bullshit y'all in the old degrees don't mean shit. As a nigga who used to believe degrees don't mean shit until I hit this goddamn corporate world, yeah, that shit checked me and humble my ass, my black ass real motherfucking quick. Mind you, and I got fucking experience, years of experience in the job, certifications, goddamn, fucking green belt, all type of shit. But guess what? I don't have that piece of paper, which is why I got one more fucking class left till I goddamn graduate. Why the fuck you think I'm at ODU right now? Yeah, because when you start trying to get mid-level to senior level positions, you need that degree, bro. Especially if you're in a job field like myself, supply chain, where if you want to, because when you get to mid-level and senior level positions, you're touching money. Any job that requires you to touch them motherfucking people money, you need a degree, bro. You need that fucking degree. Don't let these entry-level tech niggas and these fucking certification gurus tell y'all don't need that fucking degree. I'm telling you. And for the people who got degrees and then they're telling you you don't need a degree, I guarantee you when they go apply for them jobs, they make sure they check that fucking bachelor's degree box. I guarantee you
Well, I guarantee you that it depends on what degree you get in the first place. I mean, it sounds like his career needs him to get that degree because he's going to be touching money. Okay, cool. But not every position actually requires someone to touch money or manage money. On the other note, I think he said he was in supply or chain supply or something like that. You probably do have to, and it probably does give you a boost if you have a degree. On the other hand, there are people who say you don't need a degree who have degrees and they get paid money that people with degrees get paid with. So it all depends on which industry you're getting into. I don't believe a degree gets you but so far. It gets you credibility, but it doesn't necessarily always guarantee a job. We cannot forget that. I'm not downgrading the degree, but I am saying a lot of people don't know how to network. They don't know how to hold a conversation. They don't know how to make meaningful connections and work themselves within the company that they want to work with. Most people get a degree, hope for the best, go on Indeed, click a button, and act like it's Tinder. Oh, they didn't reply back to me. It's because you're doing what everybody else has done. Have you ever thought about that? If you're not doing anything extra, going to the job site, going on LinkedIn, clicking in following or building connections with people on LinkedIn that work in the company so they can start seeing you around their own social media, then I'm afraid you're not even doing enough. You know what I'm saying? I know multiple people. I went to college. A lot of my friends talk about how hard it is to get a job. Bro, it's probably because you've been signing up for jobs in the same way everybody else has, clicking a button on the internet. That's just the truth.
Can someone explain to me how I have 4 degrees and still can't get a job? BA in communication, BA in Spanish, BFA in dance. Get ready for this one. Master's degree in freaking journalism. Mind you, I've gotten laid off not once, not twice, but 3 times in the span of 2 years. So if you're feeling behind, just know you're not alone.
But here's the truth. Degrees don't guarantee jobs. College doesn't guarantee a job. You know what they say? We guarantee you can finish and get your degree in such and such years. They guarantee a sheet of paper with credibility. A degree doesn't save you from a layoff. You have to put in the extra effort to have yourself stand out. Most people were taught education, memorization, and go to school to get the degree. They're told how to learn information or memorize information, but not how to market yourself. You see, college does a great job at marketing itself because they give you a promise, right? And most people misinterpret that promise. Oh, if I go to college, I have a better chance of getting a job. You have a better chance of getting a higher paying job, not a job. Because people are going to hire who they want to hire. You can have all the degrees in the world. Oh, why did you get hired? I have all these degrees. I got the best grades. Bro, unless you know why the person didn't choose you, 9 times out of 10, you ain't going to know because they're not going to tell you. And a lot of people would take that as discrimination. You just don't know. You don't even know how to improve from it. You don't even know how to market yourself. College markets itself really well. That's why people go into tens and thousands of dollars of debt, money they don't have, for a chance to make more money. And then people be coming out with average salaries, 30, 40, 50,000. Okay, great. And you can elevate in the corporate world too. I'm just saying, a lot of people go to school, get into tens and thousands of dollars of debt for jobs that don't pay them nearly as much money that they thought it would be paying. Imagine going to school, taking out student loans, you $100,000 in debt, and your job only pays you $40,000 to $50,000 a year. That might be good to someone. Not for my standards. Not at all. And we're not even talking about the top schools. You got nah. You have a greater chance of getting a higher paying job. It doesn't necessarily mean you deserve the job you want. You got to separate those two.
Here are the top 5 degrees with the worst ROI. If you don't know what that means, it means return on investment, but people still pick them. Number 1 is fine arts. The average pay is around $45,000 per year. Number 2 is education, one of the lowest paying fields despite needing a degree, which is insane because that is some of the hardest jobs that are out there, is teaching the next generation, but unfortunately, it is unrewarding. Number 3, we have psychology. It's a good field, but the entry level is very rough. You're often going to need to get a master's degree on top of that, which is more money and time. Number 4 is communications, which is oversaturated. However, I don't even know if I agree with this one fully because it really depends on which kind of avenue you take. If you do more of like a consulting role, but maybe those jobs are really hard to land. Number 5 is hospitality. So lots of jobs, but there are low pay. So definitely not something that you want to go into if you want to get a guaranteed job out of college. These are the kind of degrees that are in these statistics, but it does not mean that you shouldn't get one. Maybe pair it with something else to give yourself a little bit more flexibility in the job market.
100%. And she's right about that. It depends on what route you want to go in. People use what they learn in college for their own businesses, for other people's businesses, mom and pop shop, whatever businesses. And then the corporate world, it's like, you got to understand the path that you want to go down. And a lot of people don't know that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people go after what they're passionate about. There's nothing wrong with that until you start complaining about, well, you know, it's so expensive to go to college. Oh, you know, they need to pay me more. Bro, you should have chosen a field that pays you more. That's called research. You expecting somebody to pay you more and you didn't do the research about how much they get paid? A lot of those degrees that she listed, that is the truth. And that's coming from someone whose mom was a teacher for 20 years, bro. Teaching is a very emotional, taxing job, and physically. And you work for free on the weekends because you grade papers and do lesson plans and stuff. You gotta love teaching in order to be a teacher. I will say that. I've rarely ever heard people say they chose a teaching career because they're doing it for the money. You gotta love teaching. And some people are perfectly fine with that. They're okay with that. And that's fine. I know how that feels, doing work that doesn't feel like work. That was me being a personal trainer. You know what I'm saying? But I knew not to go to school being a personal trainer. I mean, you can get a personal training job without a degree, without going tens of thousands of dollars in debt. A lot of people go into school and they go, well, I got my degree, but what's your degree in? You know what I'm saying? Like, how much are you contributing with your skill set to societal problems that pay the most amount of money? Communications, psychology. You know, it's sad. It's just sad to say. It's just sad to even think about sometimes. It's like, bro, these people love what they learn usually because people choose what they're passionate about. But we live in a world where you don't get paid off of, your pay isn't dictated about how much you love the topic. Your pay is dictated off of how much value you contribute to society. How big are the problems you're solving? And for who?
Unless you guys want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a scientist, or an engineer, your college degree is becoming more and more useless by the day. I'm not saying that you don't learn anything from college. I'm not saying that college isn't useful. I'm just saying it's becoming more useless by the day.
So I'm a 5th year electrical engineering student, and something I want to address is that he's kind of wrong. Even engineering is becoming more saturated with students every single day, and just an undergraduate degree is not enough. I have a 3.6 GPA. And I applied to over 400 internships last summer, and I ended up getting one. But with my GPA and the places that I chose to apply to, I should have gotten way more offers than I did. I applied to 400 places and I got about half a dozen interviews and one offer, which
Here's that entitlement mindset that we hear. You know, I applied to 400 jobs, so I should have gotten more offers. Did you click a button to apply to those jobs? How many people clicked a button applying to the same job you applied to? And yeah, you got your degrees, but do you know there's AI that sifts through not only what degrees you have, but also the keywords that are in your resume? Did you know that? Most people are behind off of how to apply to jobs these days. You got to get in front of people. You got to network with people. The other week, I was out here doing overtime. I work in IT. And I was doing overtime, getting in front of the people who are collaborating with the company I'm working with now. I wanted to meet the inside people. I didn't have to work the overtime. And when I worked there, they said we could leave within 2 hours of being there. You know how long I stayed? I stayed for another 6 to 7 hours, not to make the money, but to get affiliated with the people, remember their names. Then the next day, at the end of that first day of overtime, they said, hey, you can show up tomorrow if you want to. We weren't going to invite anybody else to like work overtime, but you're welcome to. You know, you can get more affiliated with people and network. Yes, I'll take that opportunity. I worked another 9 hours of overtime. Don't care about the money. I cared about networking, getting my foot in the door, letting people remember my name, making sure that they don't think I'm just some random guy that just wants a job that's clicking a button. Now I have personal emails. Now my foot is in the door. Now I'm past the HR process of HR looking at the resumes, because that's what they do. That's what these big corporations do, by the way. A lot of the times it's not the department that you're applying for. It's HR doing their whatever recruiting method, and they're over there looking for the best qualified candidate, and they don't even know the job that you be doing. Like, I've been on many IT interviews where HR departments are like, well, I don't know what any of this stuff is, but I have a list of questions to ask you. And I'm like, bro, how are they supposed to know that I know my stuff? And they're over there waiting for, you know what I'm saying? It's just a mess. But what are you doing to apply to these jobs? I had this same mindset a year or so ago. Man, I applied to so many jobs, man, and they're not hiring, man. You're clicking the same button everybody else click. The people who aren't having degrees, they're clicking the same button you click. Why do you think you're so special to be picked out, bro? Get rid of your entitlement mindset, bro. You got to put in that extra work. I'm so grateful that God blessed me with having to learn how to talk to people, how to network, how to handle objections, getting into sales. I worked sales for 5 years of my life, and I am so thankful for that, because it removed the entitlement mindset. People shouldn't buy from me just because I'm good at something. They should buy from me because I helped them make a confident decision off of what they already wanted. I don't have entitlement when it comes down to getting things that I want. You know what I have? Determination and perseverance. I applied to 400 jobs. Okay, cool. Apply to 401 and move the fuck forward. I get passionate about these things, man, because I believe in it. I get passionate about these things because I've been in the mud before, living paycheck to paycheck. I've been in the mud before, only depending on one source of income and being an entrepreneur, selling your own product and having regular people buy your product and making a living off of that. Bro, that's hard. But most people, they had this mindset when it comes to getting jobs. It's like, well, I have a degree, I have these GPA. Bro, they lied to you. The GPA is more valuable in the college world than it is in the real world. Don't nobody care about your GPA, bro. They care about if you can actually do the job or not. Can you do the job or not, bro? And can you work on a team or not, bro? I don't care how pretty you made things look on a sheet of paper. When it's time to work, we want results.